And a speedy good morning to you, and thank you so much for keeping your dial locked on our frequency 98.5, Asking Radio Speed FM. This here is 9 minutes past 9 a.m. so far, and it is time for the Speed Lane. My name is Clement Sampson, and we have a full house here, starting with
MaryCynthia
and Jennifer Ikpila.
All right, good morning to you, ladies, and welcome to the Speed Lane this morning. Okay, well, let's start by talking about your weekends. MaryCynthia, how was your weekend?
It was fine, normal, nothing unusual.
Oh.
Just a normal weekend.
Oh, really?
Boring weekend.
How come you had a boring weekend?
Normal, boring weekend. When I say normal, it's a normal thing that happens
Nothing eventful.
with me, yes.
Oh, okay, all right. Sorry about you, Jennifer.
Yeah, weekends are my favorite, especially when I'm less busy. I get to spend time with my kids, so
Okay.
it's fun.
Yes. Same here for me as well, too. Okay, well, so now this morning we're talking about changing for good. Yes, we've heard that many times. People say they change. People ask for change. Like people put it forward that they want to change, and they say they've changed. Some people demand change from people. Now, have you ever met somebody who changed, but deep down you're not so sure? Now, it could be anybody, a friend, a family member, but when they say they change, do they really change? Or do we just learn to hide parts of ourselves that others don't like? So, well, at some point, you listening to us, you can also be a part of the Speed Lane this morning and join us to talk about changing for good. So, do people truly change for good or just pretend better? When they say they've changed or they've changed. Are they really changed or they're just pretending to have changed? That's what we're looking at. So, is it possible for people to truly change for good? Okay, well, so let's start with Jennifer this morning right here in the studio. So, what does change really mean to you? In terms, is it in terms of behavior or mindset or both?
Yeah, it can be both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, a shift in behavior. A shift in behavior or patterns of doing things.
Okay.
If you're doing it one way, you decide to migrate or use another path. So that's change. Change, they say, is constant. So the topic you're talking about, changing for good. Yeah, it's possible people change for good. But change doesn't just happen. The individual needs to give room and be sincere as to whether you're using your lips to just pronounce change or it's coming deep down in your heart.
Okay.
And when I say deep down in your heart, is you realizing why you even need to change. Is the pathway to keeping that change real. Is the pathway to actually changing even. For example, we are almost approaching the end of the year. And by the new year, some persons will now start saying, okay, I'm going to change. I don't want to take this attitude to the next year. I want to stop every bad thing I was doing this year and just flip.
Okay.
That the mindset of changing is just because they're expecting a new year. It's just because they feel they are going to a new year. But you need to actually realize that this part I'm trying to change, what is it for? To actually maintain the change we are talking about. So I'm of the stance that, yeah, people change, but you have to realize it. For example, I'm trying to change my eating habits.
Okay.
I'm trying to make dieting. Why? Because I feel I should avoid some certain health conditions.
Okay.
Let's say ulcer, you have to avoid fries. So even though you love fried yam, but you know the repercussions of taking fried yam, and so you're trying to change. You're trying to exercise. Some persons will say, I'm no longer going to eat dinner after 6. Why? Because it's going to keep food stock and make digestion difficult over the night. So you change. If you don't realize why you want to change, then the change you won't even be able to maintain the change. That's why people make so many New Year resolutions, but they don't keep to it.
Okay.
Because there's no pattern. They are just saying it with their lips. It's just a feeling. But you need to realize it in your heart and know that this is why I am doing this.
Okay.
Not just following the air, the atmosphere, that it's a new year and you feel it should be a new thing. No.
Okay.
I'm doing this. And by the time you do things because you need to do them, you don't even set a time for the change. At every time, once in a while, I sit and I reevaluate myself,
Okay.
some habits, and I say, okay, let me work on changing from this to good. Like, let me work out to keep fit. So it's not a time frame that I'll wait till 2026 to start working out. So genuine change doesn't even keep time. And that is when it's coming from your heart. And that is where it is the mindset.
All right then. So, well, Jennifer just told us her mind, and she believes that change, well, it's in terms of mindset and in terms of behavior as well. So it's both. So, well, it's time enough for you also to call us on 080 8427 5464. The number for you to call and tell us what you think about changing for good, whether it's true when people say they've changed or whether they are just putting up an act. You can call us on 080 8427 5464. So, MaryCynthia, what's your take on that? Change, mindset or behavior or both?
Okay, for me, I would say it's both, because change for other people is just simply ditching some kind of habits that you had, let's say bad habits, or even habits that are not positively bringing something to you. And then for other people, it's about mindset, just maybe changing to start thinking positively, or to just train your mind to a certain way. So for me, it's both. Since for others, it's about little habits, just stopping some kind of habits, while others is from inside. Some changes would happen from outside. If you say you're going to change and you actually change, some changes would happen from outside, while others is just about your mindset. Maybe after some time, people will actually start seeing it from the way you react to things and all of that. But for the physical changes, like with the habits I talk about, immediately you change, somebody is able to tell that, okay, this person used to do this, but for like 3 days now, he or she has not done this, and then all of that. Maybe he has changed, and then at some point they actually realize, okay, he finally stopped. That means he has completely changed. So when we talk about people saying they have changed for good, is he actually pretending, or is it true? For me, it depends on the person, because we cannot speak for everyone, since we don't see through everyone's mind. But most of the time, it's just like they got that motivation to actually change. But just saying I've changed for good doesn't prove anything. You yourself have to watch yourself and see if you actually changed, because sometimes you might have that mindset of I want to change, like that motivation and all of that you want to change, but then somewhere in the way you realize that it's not as easy as you thought it was going to be to stop one habit, or to train your mind towards a certain way and all of that. And then it's more like you start going back on your words, and in the line you just say, I beg, let's be over this, like it's not possible for me, or I'll try again after this one time. After I do it this one time, I would change, maybe from tomorrow, from next week, and all of that. So changing for good depends on the person, like if the person actually sticks to that plan of change, or the person goes back on their word. But to say the moment someone says I've changed for good, it's not true at that moment too, because we have not seen. Yes, there has to be some kind of proof or evidence to be able to know that, okay, this person has actually changed. And that evidence is watching their pattern in that behavior or that mindset and all of that.
Okay then. So talking about watching and seeing whether the person has changed.
That's the only evidence.
We'll come to that. Well, this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. Yes, so if you don't know what the time is right now, well, free of charge, here you go. It's 19 minutes past 9 a.m. so far this morning, and it's Clement, Sampson here, and
MaryCynthia.
Jennifer Ikpila.
yes, we're holding things down for you on the speed lane this morning. Now, back to what I said we would go on to next. Now, MaryCynthia, let's come down to these now. Have you, seen somebody genuinely change? Talking about seeing evidence, right? To be very sure that when the person says it, we shouldn't take their word for it immediately. We should wait to see evidence, right? Now, have you ever seen somebody genuinely change for the better? And then if you have, what made you believe it was for real? Like, this is real.
If we actually say for good or for better, I don't know if this situation will be counted as for good or for better, but I've seen someone change, and that was like back in secondary school. You know, there's a whole lot of kids back then in boarding school, and it's more like people would beg a lot, people would do a lot of whole stuff, and then one particular girl that was close to me, she was like, okay, every time I give out my stuff and then all of that, it always turns out that people would do this to me. And one day she even cried. I've forgotten what item it was, but then it didn't come back to her after she gave it out. And she was someone that always had, I don't know, they're just all some of those kids who always have something. They always have what everyone wants. And then one day she was crying so much because I think what she gave out really meant something to her, and then she didn't get it back. And she was like, I won't give someone, I will not lend anybody these things again. And I was like, is that not your usual pattern of saying, I will not give again if they come and beg you? Because then the way they will beg you for something, they'll even be like, how can you be this? It's just my throat is almost gone, you can just give me small of this, and then all of that. And then that day she was crying and she really said, I won't. I just laughed over it. I said, is it not you again? You always say you would not do this, but you still go ahead and do it. And she actually didn't. Like, I watched her for the whole of that term, not even intentionally. I just noticed that someone came, and then she was like, no, this is what happened. At first she was even explaining herself. I gave out my stuff and it didn't come back, so I've decided to not give it again. And I just laughed like, you really want to do that? Let's see if you can hold up. And she actually did. I did not plan to watch or plan to like focus on the whole thing, but you know, when you when you sense something or when you have seen it once, you just want to see, can this person actually keep up? And she did. And I never forget that story because it was surprising to me, like because she kept saying it every time, I will not do this again. And one day she just buckled up, and that was it. So yes, I've seen someone changed in real time, and it actually happened. But that's it's a rare sight for me. I don't know for other people, but it's something rare to see. I don't see it all the time that someone will actually say I've changed, and then I do actually change. For someone like me that's usually overthinks self, I'll just think you're pretending. Most of the time I'll just think someone is pretending.
Okay, then do people truly change for good or just pretend to have changed? That's what we're looking at this morning on the speed lane. Do people truly change, like change in the real sense of what they promised to change for? Okay, or did they just pretend? That's what we're checking out this morning on the speed lane. 080-8427-5464. The number again is 080-8427-5464. You can go ahead and start calling. Don't worry, you can interrupt us when we're talking, and let us have your opinion on what you think about people changing for good. Do they truly change or just pretend to have changed? Okay, well, so Jennifer, now over to you. Do you have a real experience of somebody who said they changed, and who said they changed for the better, and how you truly thought they had changed, the thing that made you believe them?
I think there are 1001 experiences.
Oh, really?
Yes, of such instances.
Okay.
And so, change involves a shift in behavior, like I said, right? And many times you see someone having some bad traits, behavior, transforming to maybe a good person. Now, when we're coming up, I heard this cousin of mine that will always steal. He had every bad behavior. will always sneak out. In school, he was a truant.
Okay.
At a point, he got withdrawn from secondary school. And so we all felt, oh, this one, his life is condemned. We don't even understand the direction again.
Okay.
God's so kind. One day we woke up and I left home. So when I came back, the guy started preaching to us, sweeping the compound and behaving like one good boy. We thought, you are pretending.
Okay.
This is not possible. Years passed and he showed so much remorse. So yes, people change for good. And how do you know they have changed for good and not just pretending? When the behavior, the old pattern doesn't come back. So for this case, my cousin, Dave, he became a good guy. So it is even from Dave I believe that, a child could grow up being stubborn but maybe change. So now, but then it caused him some delays in life because of the attitude.
Okay.
Because we all graduated from school and he was still struggling. But yes, he's now good. He now preaches to us. I'll tell you another one close to me again, my friend again. The guy is a bad womanizer, used to be.
Okay.
He could, any girl he sees he admires, any girl he sees he wants to date, he dated. But now he's married and he tells you he can't even cheat on his wife. And so yes, people can change for good from their bad behaviors.
Okay.
And then they can maintain. So far as you are able to sustain you, there are some changes that come with eye service. So.
True.
Okay.
And I actually think about when someone say they want to change, they have to pretend first before the real thing actually takes over them. Because I don't know, is there something that just falls on you and then one morning you just stand up and you've changed?
It's about the impact of the change on your life. If you had a bad behavior, maybe you felt the impact. What has this thing done to me? That's why you see that you see people misbehave and they go to prison, commit crimes. I've been to prisons, even in Makudi here at Hangeior. I've been to prisons. I've seen the prisoners show remorse. I spoke to one. Let me tell you one experience I had at prison. I went to prison for a report. So I met one guy, Musa. Musa snatched a woman's phone at Just Gado Villa here.
Okay.
Over 15 years ago, snatched a woman's phone at gunpoint and then was arrested and convicted for life imprisonment for snatching somebody's phone at gunpoint. Because of the gun now, it was attempted murder. Because once the gun is there, it shows that you could kill for the phone. So he was given life imprisonment. So when we went to prison, he developed cancer from prison. Because for the over 15 years, he was moved from Maiduguri prison to Kano. He wasn't given good food. He was looking so bad. So he had cancer. And so his health humbled him. He knew that this one is going to finish me. And so the impact of this change, sometimes it comes that you don't have a choice. You can't even pretend about it. And that is how, because of his health status, he really showed remorse. I don't know whether it was just because of his health status, but he really showed remorse. He said he regrets his action. And he was given a pardon. The state government, he was given a pardon of mercy. And that was how he was released. But then he's suffering from cancer. And cancer for now doesn't have a cure even. Yes, because it was from the stomach. So I'm just trying to tell you that, yes, people do things. You go to prison, you see prisoners, some of them show remorse. And it is those ones that show remorse that they pardon. So it's possible that people change. But then some still do based on eye service.
All right then. So it's a speed limit on Asking Radio 98.5 080 8427 5464. Do people truly change for good or just pretend to have changed? That's what we're looking at this morning. And so far you've heard from us within the studio here. We've talked about it at length. Now, from what both of you have talked about, makes me wonder, what is the big catalyst for change in human beings? Like, is it time, or is it experience?
Okay, for change in human beings, I think it's experience, or should I say it's both? Because as they experience things, like as human beings, if you experience things, you get to see that, okay, like at some point I'm going to have to shift from a certain behavior or a certain mindset to be able to reach a certain height. As you're coming up, you're also watching other people. So when you see that the pattern you usually follow is not bringing you the same results that maybe you see other people getting, and you also want to get, as you keep experiencing those things, you start to shift your own behavior. That's if you truly want that thing that you're seeing somewhere, and then you're interested and all of that, you start to shift your own behavior to what you see from other people. So we can actually call that experience, because you're watching it happen to other people, or you're seeing the way in which they handle their own stuff to get the results they get. Then you decide to apply it to your own self. And in the sense of time, it's true. Like from growing up, some people have certain behaviors or attitudes when they are kids, just like the story she mentioned. Someday you just woke up and then you just matured, should I say overnight or something. Just one day you did not do something, and then 2 days go by, you're still not going back to that bad habit. 3 days, and then before you know, yes and all of that, because we don't have the same behavior. Okay, hello.
Right, so we do have a caller here. Yes, hello, good morning to you.
Morning.
Yes, you're welcome to the Speed Lane this morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Isabella. I'm calling from Makurdi.
What part of Makurdi, Isabella?
Okay, around this GT Bank side.
Oh, okay, all right.
This bank road.
All right, cool. So go ahead. What do you think about people changing for good, truly changing for good, or whether they're just pretending?
Okay, for me, I'll be honest. It's rare that somebody will say, okay, the person has changed. Because I've seen, like, something that you're seeing more than once, twice, or 3 times. You know that maybe it's something that's been happening always. So I feel it takes the grace of God for somebody to say the person has truly changed.
Okay.
Because no, there are some people that they will tell you they have changed, but you still be seeing the signs. Like they're telling you, just come into my life now. After you come into my life, I'll change. It's a lie. It's only Holy Spirit that can change somebody. That's when the person has genuinely given the person's life to Christ.
But Isabella, have you seen someone changed in real time? Like in your life, have you seen anyone change in real time?
I don't. I don't think. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen somebody change. That's what I'm saying about. Unless the person has genuinely given the person like not just saying he's a Christian, like genuinely giving the person like to Christ. If not,
okay.
I don't. It's just pretense the person is doing. Okay. That's for my own opinion, I don't know for anybody's opinion.
All right, sure thing. Yeah. Julie Noti, thank you, Isabella, for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Good. Okay, so Isabella doesn't believe in it at all. She sounds as if she doesn't like. She doesn't.
She says it's not possible, except with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Some behaviors are inherent.
Okay.
Yes, you're born with it, or it's just in you. Yeah. So, but like we're saying, changing for good.
Yeah.
Once you're able to suppress one behavior or an attitude to be a better version, doesn't mean it has left you. That's why they'll say once in a while the thing they come back. But then 90% you're able to suppress it. Yeah, so change occurs. Even me myself, there are things I used to do that have really changed.
Okay.
Yes, there are things. I don't want to mention it because you may laugh at me.
No, but you can check and you can find out one which is permissible for me and MaryCynthia to laugh about, though.
Okay, let me. Do you know? makeup was my thing.
Okay.
Like I would sit and paint my face. Sometimes I'll be looking horrible, but within me I was babe.
Okay.
But now
Looking back.
it's even stressful to me. But I think I prefer myself like this now than those things I was rubbing.
Yeah, without makeup.
So for teenagers, some go through adolescent, and that's why I say you see change from adolescent to maturity. So some behaviors they were doing as teenagers, they outgrow them. It's natural, yes, that it's possible people will change for good. Yes. It's just a shift in life.
Yeah.
Somebody taking alcohol feels I'm above 40, I should cut down. Maybe you're facing high blood pressure, diabetes.
Yes, that's one of the things. Again, sometimes it's situations that will just force
warrant
some
you
people
to change. Yes, so yes, change can be genuine, but then sometimes it's conditional, attached to a reason for the change.
Okay, all right then. So we're still taking your calls on the speed lane this morning, asking radio, do people truly change for good or just pretend to have changed? Now you could even use yourself as an example. There might have been a time when you made up your mind to change over something and then you went back to it, or you're still sticking to your guns and you're still moving forward, keeping that promise you made. Especially when it comes to New Year's resolutions. Let's even talk about that one.
You see people write a long list of things that they are changing from in the new year, but mostly when it comes to New Year resolutions, it's people that are saying I'll be wicked this year, I'll make sure that I'm not taking nonsense this year, and the whole year they'll be taking a whole lot of nonsense different from what they said they will not take and all of that. So that New Year resolution self, I don't even pay attention to that one. When I see people saying it's my New Year resolution, I'll just be like, so what stopped you from doing that whole list any time of the year at all? Is on the first of the year you now think, okay, I've suddenly changed, I'm suddenly like this and all of that. That one self, I think it's on serious people.
For that, talking about New Year resolutions, that one I don't even count it as change. It's just following the air.
Yeah.
The new breeze of a new year. The atmosphere, you feel like I should change. This year I'll go to church. I won't miss church. I will always pray. I'll do devotion every morning. January, 1 week has not even finished. You are struggling with sleeping and waking up 6 a.m. Even me myself, I'll be like, I won't miss church. I'll always pray. This one is also part of there are things I tell myself that I'll be serious with God this year.
Yeah.
I'll give, but it is a good thing though.
Yeah, it is.
But do you keep to it or you pretend sometimes?
Well, at least you took a step. Yeah, that's
the step by writing it on social media and telling everybody that you're about to change.
Oh, you say you save this year, you won't spend recklessly. Then once little time you're craving shawarma.
Then you do it.
You say you cannot come and kill myself. I cannot come and kill myself.
But you who's listening to us right now, don't get discouraged, all right? We're just talking about, we're just laughing about. But if you feel like New Year's resolution is one of the steps you can take, go ahead. I mean, why not? Give it a shot, right? Okay, well, so we're still taking your calls on the speed lane this morning, asking radio 080-8427-5464. That's the number for you to call and tell us what you think. Do people truly change for good or just pretend to have changed? Like they're just so good at pretending and not really doing what the change requires of them. Okay, now let's talk about money. Yes, money and how it changes people. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it with you, Jennifer. Well, how does money change people? How have you seen money change people, good or bad?
Money has changed. Most people have seen money has changed them to bad.
Okay.
Not even good. From misbehaving, changing lifestyles, being reckless. You see, somebody close to me.
Okay.
This lady, her dad decided to give them some money, like to settle the children. This is somebody close to me.
Okay.
To settle the children, they should start up life. Give them some good millions.
Okay.
This is like 6 years ago. And then my friend was buying very expensive hairs, no investments. And yeah, with time the money finished.
Okay.
And we're back to square one, thinking about how to set up business.
Uh-oh.
And all.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And before when the money came, she had plans. I will do this good one. I will plan my life. It was like her life was going to change. But then the bad side came.
Okay.
Of money. So that's why if you have money, but the plans are not there, you can't use it to do anything good.
Okay. MaryCynthia, about you?
I think money really changes people for bad more than it changes people for good, because like when people have money, should I say, is it intentionally or unintentionally, they start becoming careless about a whole lot of stuff. They start should I say, not valuing the things that they used to value before. Let's say friendships, or people that were closer to their families and all of that. They start shifting all of that, and they stop caring about a whole lot of stuff. I see that happen with most people's cases. And then the things that used to make meaning to them, to just abandon it. And then the case where it changes people for good, it's like people that were usually angry, always angry, and then overprotected. When you have small thing now, you have to protect it all the time. Should I say, you have to just be strict so that people will not come close to you or try to take advantage. But then when they get all of that money, it's more like they change for good, in the sense that, okay, they are more open to people, since they know that they can actually give out, or they can actually help, and all of that stuff. But for me personally, I don't think money will change me for good or for bad and all of stuff. It will just make me happy.
MaryCynthia, tell us one.
It will just make me happy.
Yeah, Jennifer, go
Okay,
ahead.
you see
That's
this
changed.
thing about money. It's not like money really changes people for bad, totally. Once you work and you earn, once you earn legitimate money, I think people have more sense to be resourceful.
Okay.
In line with what you want for your life. And so you can't take 100,000 and give to a child and then expect the child to think, because their brain is still that I'm a child, what I need is sweet. They don't really have any serious values. They don't have anything they want to really do with money. But as a grown adult that you work and you earn, you know that for every kobo you have, you need to plan, because you're responsible for your own feeding, your own housing, clothing, and all of that. So it comes with how you're getting the money. But even you, Clement, you're sitting there, if you give me 1M now, it's not for my work. You say, Jennifer, take 1 million, I'm dashing you. This money, maybe I'll say, okay, problem no the finish.
Okay.
Let me do 1 or 2 things that if I work and I earn it, I will be more disciplined.
True.
Okay. So you two can also be a part of this program on the speed lane this morning. We're checking out, do people truly change for good or just pretend to have changed? Okay, that's what we're looking at this morning. 080-8427-5464. Do you believe that people can truly change and stay that way, or they're just pretending to have changed? Okay, now we do have a caller. Oops, we lost the one. 12 callers back again. Probably you probably experienced network challenge there, but don't worry, we can still keep calling, and let's hope you get through to us eventually. Now, let's talk about how people change. Okay, do they change more because of they want to or they have to? Between wanting to and having to change.
Some people want to, and then some people have to.
Okay.
That's depends on the situation they have defined themselves in. For the people that want to, it's because they have actually seen that aspect of their lives they deserve to change, or they actually have to change to be what they want to be or who they want to be. And the people that have to, I don't really know how to put it, but I'll give an example. Imagine you were you wanted a new job, and then in that work environment they said, in this place now you cannot take any form of alcohol in here. So it's more like you don't want to, but then you have to. That's just an example. You could apply to any other thing. So in some situations people have to change, while in other situations where they want to, they actually see that thing about themselves and be like, okay, I don't really like this thing about myself, so I have to change. Then that's where you would say someone wanted to change, but they have to. It's more of external factors, like maybe they want to get something. So for that's the one that's even pretend. That one, that have to, is just the whole pretend type. Because I mean, if you put those kind of people somewhere else, like take them out of that situation, I think they'll be going back to exactly who they were before they got into that situation in the first place.
Okay. So Jennifer, from what MaryCynthia has just said, it seems to me like there is depth in both of them, like as if one is realer than the other, like one is deeper than the other. Seems like, right?
Yeah.
So then let's talk about the hardest part, okay, about genuinely changing as a person. What do you think about that? The hardest part of genuinely changing as a person?
The hardest part of genuinely changing as a person is that's where you see pretense, is when your heart or your mindset is not ready for change. You're being forced to change. So change comes with first making up yourself that I want to change. But once you don't accept that you're not changing, some behaviors, like I said earlier, they are inherent in us. So once you don't accept to change, then influencing from an external influence will make it hard for you to change. So it comes first with you. There was a time Nigeria had a campaign, Change Begins With Me. That was the name, Change Begins With Me. So for you to even obey a law, you need to change it within you. You need to accept and assess yourself that, why do I need to change? What are the consequences of not changing? Okay, so I'm doing it for myself. That's why I say, you see people dump waste. They clean up their house, which is a good thing, but then they trash it on the walkways, on the streets, which is bad. Cleaning up your house is good, right? But where you're dropping the waste in the drainages is bad. And then people need to realize that it is not good to say you're waiting for the rain to clear the waste in the drainage. No, that's not healthy. You need to properly dispose your waste. So if you don't even realize that you need to change, whatever change you're doing is fake.
Yeah, that makes
For
sense.
me, though, the hardest part of genuinely trying to change is keeping up with that new change or that new attitude that or mindset that you're trying to put on. Because like I said, I truly believe that the first attempt when you're trying to change is pretend. You have to pretend that you're actually there. Like you want to cultivate a habit of waking up and sweeping the compound. So the first day, even though it feels uncomfortable, you're just pretending like you like what you're doing and then all of that. So the hardest part for me is keeping up with that, because for someone who will wake up and do it 3 times, and then at some point they are feeling lazy because this is not something they have always done, or it's something unusual, it's something draining and all of that, so it becomes hard for them to actually follow up with the plan. When they decided to change that plan or that thing that they wanted to achieve, it's actually hard for them to keep up. So the hardest part for me is keeping up with it every day and saying, this is who I've become, getting used to that pretense to become part of you and not just pretense anymore. That's the hardest part for me.
All right then. And so now we'll just it's right about that time for us to wrap things up. So let's just take 1 minute each, okay? And just, in our personal opinions, right? What does authentic change look like? Authentic, it's real. You can take 30 seconds if you like.
For me, authentic change, it's when you actually keep up with that pretense. I keep falling back to that pretense because I believe from the start you don't just wake up and a whole shower of have changed and everything just changes.
Okay.
It's actually keeping up with that pretense. If it's a habit and you stop it for one day, that authentic change is following up the next day for a year, for 2 years, and the rest of your life. That is when we can actually call it authentic change, keeping up with that pretense to the point where it becomes as though it's no longer pretense, or it becomes part of you. So if you're able to keep up with that, and at some point it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable anymore, it's part of you. So you even find people say, me, like the alcohol that she mentioned, no, I don't like alcohol again. I don't even know why. Since when I stopped, I don't even feel like it doesn't even move me anymore, and then stuff like that. It's at that point that you realize that, okay, this thing is no longer me struggling to hold myself back. I have actually changed, and that's when we can actually call it authentic change.
Okay, how about you, Jennifer?
Yeah, so authentic change is genuine sincerity. You're not, whether it's within you, you've accepted that you need to change.
Okay.
And so if I said I'm not eating ram by 6, the other tribe calls it honor. If I'm not eating by 6, even if you offer me, I'll say no.
Okay.
I'm not eating junks. I'll say no. No matter how enticing it looks, I'll detest and reject it.
All right.
So that's being authentic to yourself.
No.
Once your body is accustomed to the change, it becomes authentic.
All right then. And so this has been the speed lane. Well, we have to understand something. Well, change doesn't happen overnight, unless if it's a supernatural influence. That's when it happens overnight. But if we're talking about ourselves operating as human beings, change becomes a gradual thing. Doesn't happen overnight. And I think what most people put themselves under so much pressure is when they announce it. They come out and then they say they will change.
Exactly. And then people start expecting stuff from you.
Expecting you to. So I think it's best you make that personal decision by yourself without being led into it by anybody. You just realizing and then taking gradual steps by yourself.
Setting realistic expectations, not just saying I'll do over this, because you might not be able to meet up.
You may not be able to keep up. Okay, so the thing is, whether we're pretending or we're making progress at all, the thing is, the truth will always come out. And growth, as far as I'm concerned, is, well, it's a silent thing, right? It's only when you've succeeded, you've achieved growth full time, that's when the whole thing comes out loud and everybody begins to see. Okay, so let's just keep it at the back of our minds to not pressure ourselves too much, to rather take conscious decisions to change ourselves for good. And this has been the Speed Lane with Clement, Sampson, and
MaryCynthia,
and Jennifer Ikpila.
And this morning we looked at, do people truly change for good or just pretend to have changed? Thank you so much to Isabella from Bank Road who called on the program, and to you as well who just sat by a radio and went along and listened. Hope you had a very good time. Keep listening to Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And we promise you the best, and you'll get the best. And we'll be seeing you on the next one.